Okay, Jolie here for Seconds Out with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, we're running a bit short for time, so in real promoting fashion, I'm going to ask you how you are, and you can just go on and talk about Smith versus Fowler.
Well, we've got a great card.
Oh, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. We've got a great card in Liverpool, of course. Liam Smith against Anthony Fowler, Ted Cheeseman against Troy Williamson for the British light middleweight title. We've got JJ Metcalf against Kieran Conway. We've got Shannon Courtney defending her title against America's Jamie Mitchell. We've got Solomon Dakers against Sokolowski. We've got Luke Willis against Ryland Charlton. We've got the professional debut of Peter McGraw. This is probably the best card that we've seen in Liverpool, and obviously a great main event as well.
Can you talk a bit about the main event? Do you think there's real bad blood there?
No, I mean, look, I don't think they particularly like each other, but I don't see any bad blood. I think the build-up's going to be interesting because, you say things in interviews and someone watches it or someone sends it to you and it starts going from there. I think what we saw today was a guy in Liam Smith that wanted to stamp his authority and say, no, I can't lose this fight. You're out of your league. And you saw a guy in Anthony Fowler just trying to remain calm. And Shane McGuigan probably saying to him, look, remember what happened in the Fitzgerald fight? You lost your head and you boxed poorly. So I think it's going to be an interesting build-up. Both guys going to camp now. We wish them all the best. It's going to be a huge night, October 9th.
Is Anthony Fowler potentially taking a step up too soon, and is Liam Smith the fighter with more to lose?
Well, when you take a step up, that's what you do, and that's what you get found out about on the night. You're either good enough or you're not good enough. Liam Smith, as the bookies say, is the favourite in this fight because of the level that he's boxed at. Fowler is very strong, punches very, very hard, and he's very motivated and has a great trainer in Shane McGuigan. So he's very live in this fight. Shane McGuigan wouldn't have taken this fight. He's not interested in taking a fight for money. He took the fight because he wants to roll the dice and he believes he can win. And you saw from the turnout today, it's going to be a massive fight for the city and a great card, and we can't wait for October 9th.
I want to talk about the DAZN talent quickly. Obviously, we've had the first 2 weeks. Everyone, I know Mike Costello's been at the Olympics. Is he going to be here? Yeah. So obviously, likes of Andy Leigh, Chris Lloyd, Darren Barker, the people we used to, we expect them to do well. But the likes of Laura Woods, Jama, how have you made of their first 2 weeks? A lot, well, not specifically Laura. I know she's done some work in boxing. But their first kind of few weeks in boxing, how do you think they've done?
I think brilliantly. I mean, I think everybody wanted to moan and everyone wanted to be negative. And there's been some negativity, but on the whole, the response has been fantastic. You've got to understand, Maya Jama is not a boxing analyst, right? She goes to some boxing shows. She's the host of the show. She's one of the biggest presenters in the country, in the world, and she's bringing something completely different to the show. Laura Woods is one of the best sports presenters in the world, right? So, the attention that Maya is bringing to the show, and I think she's done really, really well. You're not going to see that, see her, arguing with Tony Bellew about the left hook that someone threw in the third round. It doesn't work like that, so don't expect to see it. Actually, this weekend, it's Maya's birthday, and she's on a trip that was already planned. And for Leeds, Soccer Aid, she's at Soccer Aid. So Laura will take that presenting role for the next 2 shows. Mike Costello is back in. I think Chris Lloyd is exceptional. I think Darren's great. I think Andy Lee's one of the best analysts. Bellew's great. The feedback that we took on board from the first week was we think you should add another person in with Maya and Tony. So this week we had Dillian, we had Andy Leigh in there at times, we had Josh Warrington with Laura. So it's just the freshness of it all. Like every show that we used to do was the same thing every time with the same people. So anyone that wants to analyse the production and the presentation team, ask yourself this: look at that team and look at the energy and the freshness. Compare it to every other presentation team in boxing and tell me it's not a clear number one. It's not even close. And that's no disrespect to other people. This is just levels above. And when Costello jumps in the seat this week, you're going to see the legend. There's a lot of pressure on him now because Chris Lloyd's done a great job. So I think it's been absolutely fantastic. You can't just go in there and just cater for hardcore fight fans. You have to bring attention. You have to bring numbers. And that's what people like Maya and Laura and Bellew and people like that do. So we're learning on the job. It's been tremendous. It's by far the best show in town. It's been a great start.
And obviously, over the last month, the Olympics, Team GB have been out in Tokyo. One person in particular that I'm wondering if you're going to have an involvement with, Ben Whitaker. I went to his homecoming celebration thing yesterday, and we all know he's known AJ for a while. His godfather, Joby Clayton's worked with AJ. It looks like, I don't know yet, but he's going to be under the 258 management. If he is Ben Whitaker someone that you'd like to sign?
Yeah, I mean, just by the way, just if they're under the 258 management, doesn't mean they sign with Matchroom. You know, we've got a great relationship. They have to do the best job for them, and they will, by the way. I just think the best place for him to be is with Matchroom. You know, and it's not just Ben Whittaker, it's the McCormacks, you know, it's Lauren Price, it's Carris, it's Peter McGrail, it's Galau, it's Fraser. We want them all. You know, no point lying. I'm not going to try and pretend we're not interested. I want to sign them all. And I want to give them the best deals. I want to box them all over the world. And I want to give them the best platform and best schedule in boxing. But there's going to be a load of interest. It's a great time for them. You know, and again, it's not just people that didn't medal. You know, you've got Caroline Dubois, great fighter, Peter McGrail on this card. They're all brilliant fighters, and they're all have massive potential to become stars in the pro game if their career is handled properly. So for Ben, great fighter, great personality, love him to bits. We'll be doing everything I can to sign him.
He was actually, he started rapping at his, did you see it? It was great. One Ben to another, Conor Benn, just before we go. What's the latest? I'm not talking about the Man Off Undefeated podcast. What's the latest on Conor Benn, and when do you think he's going to be back?
We're targeting September 4th on the Warrington card, which would just be incredible. I mean, you'd have Warrington Lara 2, Katie Taylor against Jennifer Han, Conor Benn against Granados, Hughes against Strathon. Be a massive card. So he's back in training. He sparred yesterday, I believe. Just want to make sure he's 100% ready to go, and hopefully we'll announce September the 4th soon.
And actually, just one more thing. Tassa Jonas was on the Matchroom website. She was meant to fight this weekend. I thought she could be here today. What's the latest on that?
September the 11th, it looks like, in Spain. We've had a bit of a problem with the red list countries. Savannah Marshall's opponent was also from a country in Africa, I can't remember, that went on the red list, and obviously Mexico went on the red list as well. So both of them will fight in September.
And then the US card, is that announced this week? Do we have it?
Yeah, September the 18th will be announced this week, and we're finalising that now.
Brilliant, really appreciate it.